Hey there, I'm Greg Finn.
And I'm Jess Budd.
And it is officially Marketing O'Clock here on March 8th, 2019. Remember, you can catch our famous Friday news shows each and every Friday morning.
And if you want to follow along with us in our show notes, just head over to marketingoclock.com for all the links from today's articles.
And please subscribe so you don't miss a single episode.
Please.
All right, first up in the news this week is from Google, connecting you to visual shoppers with new ad formats on Google Images. Well, folks, the day you've been waiting for is finally here. Google Ads, more specifically, Google Showcase Shopping Ads, are coming to Google Images. Just what we all wanted. Ads in Google Images. So basically, users will be able to scroll through images on Google Images, hover over a sponsored ad with a price tag, and see the items for sale in that image. They'll also be able to see the brand and more information. They are currently testing this on a small percentage of traffic with select retailers, and some of the queries are something like home office ideas or shower tile designs and even abstract art.
Those are the three things that I search for most. So
yeah, that's where I go when I'm looking to buy something. Google Images and abstract art. But there are more categories coming out over the next few months. So the name of the show that I picked out was Picture This. Google Images adds ads. And I thought that was clever, but I had something else. And I want to run it past you before I get to the real meat of the story.
Okay.
I thought about this and I couldn't make it work. A picture is now worth 1,000 pennies. So if I said dollars, it'd make it seem like it was too much.
Yeah, well, but how many pennies is 1,000, or how many dollars is 1,000
I don't
pennies?
know.
10?
How could anybody know that?
There's probably a calculator on my computer, but
You're the math guy.
yeah, but I do easy math.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it'd be $10.
Yeah. See, look, I'm smart.
Like another thought I had for the title is CPP, cost per pixel. But you're not really buying per pixel. I didn't want to mislead anybody. So
I just like CPP. CPP. It sounds French.
French. Oh, oui.
Oui.
All right. So anyway, it is a showcase shopping ad that will be able to be shown in Google Images. And Google says it'll reach new customers in what they call the customer's inspiration phase. Gross. I don't like that.
Yeah.
It just sounds weird.
There's other ways to say that. I get it, but pick new words.
Your inspiration phase of a shower? I don't know. Anyway, it's supposed to be more of an inspirational and rich visual experience. Last month, Google had talked about the different ways that you could get your store on multiple Google platforms or surfaces, as they called them, talking about merchants with an existing product feed or merchants without an existing product feed. You can click through, head over to marketingoclock.com, jump into the show notes, and find more. Jess, what are your thoughts on ads coming to Google Images?
Sure. I guess one more place for me as an advertiser to put stuff out there if it makes sense. But as a user, I don't know that I even go to Google Images for anything other than like if I'm looking for a picture of like a celebrity I want to Photoshop or something. So I don't know that I would really use this, but other people might. I don't know.
We've got a picture you could buy here. Gary Busey for sale.
That's great because I'm actually in my inspiration phase on Gary Busey right now.
Okay.
So
I'm post-inspiration on Busey right now, so good to know. I mean, and from my standpoint, I'd say it's tentatively okay. Mm-hmm. I guess what I'd be worried about happening is something like what happened to Frugal, where it used to be the shopping, area, and then Google Ads came in, and now it's essentially the only paid inclusion that Google has. If you want to get into Google Shopping, you have to pay. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where I find Google Shopping pretty worthless in general. I do. I don't use Google Shopping to shop because I want to see everything, and if Google Images stops using non-ad images, I think that's going to be a problem. Like it is a problem for me using Google Shopping. So that's what I'm worried about specifically, but just because I've seen it before and I know the pain that it can cause, at least to me.
Yeah, no, I get that. And that actually kind of dovetails or segues or whatever transitional word you want to use nicely into our next story, which is introducing catalogs and more shopping on Pinterest. And I feel like this is pretty much the same story we just read, but it's about Pinterest this time. So according to Pinterest, shopping is everywhere on the platform. And they're making it even easier for brands to connect with pinners, which I think is like the cutest word ever. And that's what they call their users.
Pinners.
Yeah.
Now, do pinners have an inspiration phase as well?
They didn't say it specifically in here, but yeah, that's pretty much what Pinterest said is like, yeah, these are people that are in the moment. They're researching. Research, I think, is a better word than inspiration, but actually the inspiration seems more Pinteresty to me and research is more googly to me, if you want to get technical.
Touche.
Yeah, so that's wild. Anyway, so pinners are pretty much already in shopping mode. We kind of alluded to that. So even if they don't have a credit card in their hand, it makes sense to get in front of them when they're searching around if you're a retailer. So if you are a retailer, there are a bunch of new features coming to Pinterest. Here's what you have to look forward to. What they call Shop a Brand, which is featured beneath product pins. Users will be able to go straight into a brand's catalog by clicking more from brand. The brand's in parentheses. They'll actually put the brand name. Next is personalized shopping recommendations. Pinners will see in-stock ideas related to what they've been pinning, which is cool because you don't want to get excited about something you can't buy.
Yeah.
Something's out of stock. This is a pretty big deal, this next one, so I'm going to actually read directly from Pinterest announcement, but this is catalogs. So brands can now upload their full product catalog to Pinterest and easily turn their products into dynamic product pins, which means more shoppable pins across Pinterest. A new dashboard will allow businesses to organize their feed, and so their products can be discovered and purchased by pinners.
That's huge.
It's huge.
That you can now be more than just this collection of pins, but you're a shoppable catalog.
Yes. And even bigger or better, or I guess on the same level, this is going to be available to everybody. So they're going to have shopping ads. You can use the self-serve ads manager to get these fired up. So you don't have to call them or work with a rep or anything. You can actually just go and fire up shopping ads, which is also really great for advertisers that just want to get started ASAP. And finally, shopping search. So when users search for a product like men's watches or outdoor furniture or abstract art, to your point, shopping results will appear at the top of the home feed, which is actually really interesting because it's going to push down some of those organic results, which is what you were kind of talking about just now, Greg, with Google. So if you're slow to adopt, you could miss out on this, right? I mean, people that are having shoppable pins are going to show up above you.
Yeah.
So pay attention, guys. This is a huge opportunity for retailers. Huge.
Absolutely. And I'm going to go right now. Do you have your inspiration phase on Pinterest?
I don't know what that means.
Okay. Well, let's go to our Gen Z sound engineer, Hope. Hope, do you have your inspiration phase of buying products on Pinterest? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Is this something that would appeal to you?
Yes.
All right.
You heard it here first.
Directly from Hope.
Not that I don't use Pinterest, but I use it like, oh, those are pretty flowers, and I just save them. I'm not like in the market for a bouquet.
All right. Well, this isn't for you then.
Yeah, I guess not.
All right. Next up from Google, once again, is how to use the new offers view on your business profile. There's a new layout that introduces dedicated space for business owners to feature their most recent offers. The big news here. You now have up to 10 offers that you can include on your business profile. So when you create a post in your Google My Business app, you can categorize that post as an offer. And from there, you can put in all the specific needs and detail that you have. You can put in a title, a description, when the offer starts, when the offer ends. And now you can feature up to 10 offers. So not to sound like old broken record Finn over here, but we've been talking about the power of business profiles, the amount of resources going into this. This is something that you can have a competitive advantage on if you leverage it. So test it out. I love it.
Absolutely. I'd like to offer a suggestion to our listeners.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah, I tried really hard with that pun. Use this, guys. Take advantage. If you're running any kind of promotions, don't be stupid. Just use this. Takes 2 seconds to set up.
Okay, and that brings us to this week's lightning round.
Pew, pew, pew. And first up, Instagram has a new ad format for branded content, and it's called, get ready for this brain buster, branded content ads.
Wow, why did they call it that?
I don't know. It's certainly not descriptive at all. But basically, it is influencer content that brands can also promote just like any other ad. So it makes it, something more than just the influencer posting it on their profile and their followers seeing it. Brands, again, can now promote this just like an ad in their own account.
Cool. So the difference is that instead of doing it from your own account, you can use your company budget on somebody else's post.
Yes.
All right. Gotcha.
It's pretty sweet. And it's technically available to anybody, but you have to apply to join the program if you want in.
Ooh, fancy.
It's very exclusive. And it's kind of funny because this was formally announced at a breakfast that Instagram was holding for influencers. So I kind of rolled my eyes at that too.
I can't think of any place I'd rather not be than
Right?
at the Instagram breakfast for influencers.
Seriously.
Imagine how few people are actually having conversations in the physical world.
We can get to that later. But yeah, that is something. And yes, I would not want to be at this breakfast, nor would I be invited because I'm not an influencer. And apparently these are people that folks are excited about, like real excited.
Do you think there's more bites of food eaten or pictures of food taken at the breakfast?
Nobody is biting this food at all because they might smudge their lipstick.
Might accidentally eat a calorie.
Yeah, right. We are so terrible. It's okay. But speaking of calories and pounds, that's what I thought LB stood for, is pound. But
It does.
it
LBS.
does, right? Yeah. So it does. But there's
Oops. Because that makes sense.
It does-
Pounds. Yeah,
that does-
totally.
that makes no sense. We could talk about that separately. But it stands for something else too, which I had to ask Hope today earlier. I should have asked her live.
And
But
to circle back, the picture used has a picture of who's in the picture?
Kylie Jenner. Is that right? Yeah.
Okay.
Hope says that's right.
Self-made billionaire.
Well,
Youngest-
that's not fair.
Youngest self-made billionaire. Karen Jenner is in this picture, and there's a bunch of people, and everybody is talking. What Karen to Karen, saying
Kylie.
saying I'll be, just a whole bunch of LBs.
Like, what does that mean? Like pound, pound, pound. Like they're just giving this girl a fist pound.
Yeah.
No, apparently it means like back, which nothing makes me not want to like something more than you telling me to like something. Again, not that I'm an influencer, but I don't think she liked any of Karen. Didn't like any of these. And also, I'm sorry, self-made billionaire. I mean, we could go off on this, but I feel like her family made her, not her. She had a lot of predecessors that helped make her famous.
All right. Well, Hope, did you know what LB meant?
Yeah.
Okay.
She told me she's my source. She's
So
my
what we're
youthful
going to have
source.
right now is an acronym off. And acronyms from Instagram. And Jess, you get the first chance. If you answer it right, you get that correct. If not, Hope has a chance to steal.
Okay.
First off, HTH on Instagram.
How the heck?
That's what it should be. That's what it should be. Hope, can you steal? That's incorrect.
I don't know.
Okay. All right, no points awarded. It's here to help or happy to help.
Oh, that's cute. I
Next
guess.
up, NBC.
No business, cuz.
That's right. No, it's not. NBC.
BD.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Okay. You guys are not hip, not nearly as hip as I am. That means nobody cares, though. NBC.
Oh, that's sad.
Okay.
And also, there's a T in
Nobody's on the
there.
board yet. And next up, DGYF.
Don't go. You're fired.
Oh my gosh. I nominate that from here forth to be what the acronym stands for. Okay.
Is it wrong though?
That's very wrong. All right, Hope. DGYF. Okay. La la.
You got
Sting.
nothing.
Dang girl, you fine. Oh, I didn't know that.
I mean, I could have guessed that.
It's a popular one.
These acronyms.
Okay, well, somebody's got to get
Children.
one of these
The
to win here.
children.
We just need one winner. All right, Jess.
These are the mom bloggers.
All right, Jess. Here's the
Yeah,
easiest
we know
one I
LOL.
have.
Okay, go.
QQ.
Like the letter Q.
QQ. Yes.
Quick, Quincy.
Close. Quick question. So I'm going to give that to you, Jess. You are the official winner of the acronym challenge.
I feel like I cheated, but thank you.
Okay, we will count that. And next up,
Give
let's
us an
get.
LB if you liked that segment. Sorry, go ahead. Greg.
Okay, let's get to some more news here. And this comes from Twitter, where it's timing is everything. Insights tool for publishers. And yes, you heard me read that correctly. Twitter has a new tool called Timing is Everything. That's the actual name of the tool.
What?
Because, yeah. It's the
It
name of
is?
yes. The name of the tool is Timing is Everything.
That doesn't make any sense.
And it will allow any publisher that has access to Media Studio be able to use Media Studio to see when people are watching their videos. So again, you have to be have access to Media Studio, and you will be able to see when your followers are watching video. And they give an example. If you don't have Media Studio access, you can see in general when the most videos watch. And it's kind of interesting just seeing it in general, but pretty cool if you have access to this.
Yeah, I'm just going to insert complaint about not having better conversion tracking on Twitter ads, and conversions are everything too, Twitter. All right. Move over Angie's List. Yelp has announced verified licenses, bringing peace of mind to booking a professional.
Whoa. I always wonder, do you think Angie's last name is List? That's what I always think. It's like, oh, hey, Angie List.
No, that's what AL stands for. No, I don't know. I'm sure it's not. I don't think she would put her real name on the internet,
Okay.
right? No, adults don't
No,
do
people
that.
don't do that.
People don't do that. But anyway, this is a badge that appears next to your business name to let folks know that you're actually licensed in your service area. So users can then click on that badge to see details about your license, when it expires, who it was issued by, all the things that are important.
Do you know that one of the answers you gave was Quick Quincy? Okay.
Yes. I don't know any other words that start with Q.
All right, so that's cool. Next up is Mobile Voice Usage Trends 2019 from our friend of the show, Eric Enga at Stone Temple and Proficient. Now, for the third year in a row, they asked 1,000 people, over 1,000 people, almost 2,000 this year, how they use voice search, when they use voice search, and why they use voice search. So this is really interesting to talk about the locations. The first and most popular one, just like the movie, was Home Alone, is when people use voice search. And there are a couple things that really were interesting to me. You know, not shockingly, the biggest age group was 25 to 34. But the thing I liked the most was they looked at people married and single. Across the board, more people use voice search than were married. And I got a theory out there.
Good, because I do too.
Okay, my theory, you're just trying to bug your significant, your spouse.
Ooh.
You know, when you're single and you're like, oh, you know, I don't even have anybody around, you're too cool. But you're just like all the time, and you're like, hey, Google, quick Quincy, you know? And so that's my theory. What's your theory?
My theory is just that married people, not that single people don't have roommates or anything, but married people are used to talking out loud to others. Like, you know what I mean? Kind of like pet owners. I bet pet owners would be high on this too. Like, you just want to talk at something sometimes.
Do you talk to your cats?
All the time. They talk to me too, but they don't know it.
Oh boy. All right. Well, check it out. There's a whole bunch of fantastic data on voice search, as there is every year over at Stone Temple. And spoiler alert, stick around. We might hear a little more from Eric in 2 weeks from now.
Ooh, can't wait for that. Wonder what that's going to be. What you don't need to wonder about, though, is whether or not you should upgrade your Google Ads API if you're using it, because the answer is yes. Google announced on their ads developer blog this week that as of April 30th, the version 0 beta version of the app will start to fail. Calls to it will fail. So you need to upgrade, start a plan now to their official version 1. And if you are using it and you need instructions how to do that, just check the show notes, man.
Hey, I know what API means.
You do. So quiz time. What does API mean?
It is an air polluting ingredient.
Ding, ding, ding.
Well, according to you and your acronyms, it's application programming interface.
Why
Pretty
didn't
tight, I
you?
think.
You shouldn't have gotten quiet. You were confident. You were absolutely right that second time.
Well, I know what API is.
I know you do.
Okay.
That's why I
I'm not
quizzed you.
LB, though. I would have no clue.
No.
All right, next up, Duplex-powered Google Assistant restaurant booking expanding to more states and users, from Greg Sterling over on Search Engine Land. And from the article, book a table for 4 people at restaurant name tomorrow night. The assistant will then call the restaurant to see if it can accommodate your request. Once your reservation is successfully made, you'll receive a notification on your phone, an email update, and a calendar invite, so you don't forget. This has been around for a while. We'll keep talking about it. It's now opt-out instead of opt-in. And to me, I love it. Give me more states, more users. That's the one thing I actually love about all the AI is the ability to stop spam phone calls using Google's assistant service, if I can say, yeah, I want to get a reservation here, and the only way to do it previously was to call. I like this. I can do it with a little robot. Perfect. Give me more.
Well, I disagree with you a little bit. Some of the benefits are definitely there, but if you watch the video in this article, I timed it, and it took this woman 25 seconds to tell Google Assistant what she needed and to interact with it, and then it only took the assistant 35 seconds to make the reservation. So she saved a total of 10 seconds, and she's just casually walking up the street. Like, woman, pick up the phone, do a little work for yourself. I get it. It's convenient for some people if you don't want to talk to humans, but I would rather call and have the assistant listen to my phone call and then put it in my calendar for me, because I just think it's faster. That's my hot take on that. Okay. And I am married and I don't use voice search.
And you get your groceries delivered, fancy pants over there.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
I guess we all have our vices.
What's next, Jess?
Up next is Get More Clicks with Maximize Clicks, available worldwide. Thank you, Bing. Anybody out there trying to get as much traffic as possible, no questions asked. This is for you. I'm done.
So Jess, are you pumped to use this on Bing?
Yes.
Really?
No.
Oh. I was about to say, wait, why are you pumped to use this?
No, I'm not a big fan of this strategy. It never aligns with my goals, and I find it terrifying not using it. Sorry.
Yeah,
Thanks
I don't
anyway,
want
Bing.
clicks. I want conversions.
Exactly.
That's what I
Less
want.
clicks, spend less money, and get the right people. But to each his own.
Next up, Google to ban political ads ahead of the federal election, citing new transparency rules. And this is for Canada specifically. So if you're looking to advertise for your local district selectsman in your province of choice, next year in 2019, well, I guess this year, for next year's class, let's call it, you can't use Google to advertise because Canada recently passed Bill C-76, and it requires online platforms to keep a registry of all political and partisan ads as they directly or indirectly are published. The penalties for not doing so include fines and possible jail time. So Google said, screw it. No ads in Canada for the 2019 elections. And the other thing I thought was funny is they're like, this is real. This isn't like a power play. Hey, that's a Canadian thing too, power play.
What, because hockey?
Yeah.
Hockey's in the U.S. too.
I didn't know that.
And Europe.
Well, international. But they're like, hey, this is legit. This is too much. We're not going to jail.
Yeah.
So
I'm
look
okay with
elsewhere. Canadians, if you're looking to advertise for the 2019 election.
Lots of other places to do that. Next up, Twitter will let users hide replies to fight toxic comments. This article comes from Alyssa Foote over at Wired, and she had some scathing remarks about Twitter, calling it a largely toxic place riddled with extremists, sock puppet armies, and fake accounts. So, ouch. But someone should hide that comment on Twitter. I mean, she's probably not wrong. But anyway, Twitter knows there's issues, and they're trying to remedy this and let people hide replies to tweets.
That's one of those things that sounds cute. A sock puppet army.
Right?
You know, you're like, hey, yeah.
Hey, everybody.
It's a sock puppet army.
I know, it sounds
I'm
adorable.
Jess.
Yeah.
We're going to sing some songs. But no, it's terrifying, I guess. And I like the fact that you can just hide people.
Yeah.
And you're not giving them the satisfaction of blocking them. You're just like, out of my life. See you later. I love a good mute.
Love it.
All right. Next up is cracking down on the sale of fake accounts, likes, and followers directly from Facebook. And as Facebook states, that they and Instagram filed a lawsuit in U.S. federal court against 4 companies and 3 people based in the People's Republic of China for promoting the sale of fake accounts, likes, and followers. So, folks, don't do this. Don't charge for it. It's dumb.
So would you say that there's also sock puppets on Facebook?
I mean, yeah, you're buying them apparently.
I guess.
But
Sock puppets for sale.
To me, it's just crazy that we're at this point in life, we're at this intercontinental lawsuits about fake followers on a social platform. WTH, man.
Yeah. What a time to be alive.
I know.
QQ.
QQ. Yeah, what do you have for me? What's your quick question?
I don't have a question. I just wanted Quincy to get in here.
All right. What's up next, Jess?
All right. Next up, a new study from Edison Research showed that Facebook usage is down and podcasts are up. So not only are podcasts up, but they're showing, quote, explosive year-over-year growth. And what this actually means is that among the U.S. population ages 12 and older, the total number of people who have ever listened to a podcast has passed 50% for the first time.
That's explosive. 50%.
Explosive. I mean, I've ever worn like knee socks, but that doesn't mean they're exploding in popularity. So I don't know how they do their math, but really there's some good stats in this article. If you want to read it and you actually care about podcast growth, there's legit stuff in there. I just pulled out the funny one.
Okay. And from that explosive growth, I blame us.
Me and
I
you.
blame Marketing O'Clock.
Absolutely. We have lots and lots of listeners.
That's where it came from. Okay. And then next up is ITP 2.1 and Web Analytics from Simo, Hava. That's just what we're going to go with. And it is in regards to the Intelligent Tracking Prevention, ITP, that is coming along with Safari. And what is happening with this ITP protocol, essentially, is that on the Google Analytics side, a user is going to be capped at 7 days. Now, this is a big deal because before in Google Analytics, your user would be 2-year time period, and now it's going down to 7 days. So if somebody comes to a site, comes back 8 days later, they're going to be seen as a new user, and Simo's got some workarounds and some things to try to combat this, but it could be a problem for the way that you looked at your analytics previously.
Absolutely. And I will never get sick of the use of Cookie Monster in images that folks use in their articles about this stuff. Never gets old.
Okay, and now it's time for this week's
WTH.
This week's WTH comes from Adweek, and they have an article called BuzzFeed Goes Offline with its first printed newspaper, distributed today in New York. And I forget when this was. It wasn't actually on here today on Friday.
No, I think it was maybe Wednesday.
But it's a paper magazine that's being distributed only in New York. And the reason why I've got it on here isn't what you think it is. It's not because BuzzFeed made something physical. It's because they made a physical paper. And in the paper, they printed a GIF. But it's not even that. It's not even that. I'm not taking umbrage to the printing of a GIF. I like it. The problem is they printed a GIF and they printed it like a comic strip on one page. They missed a golden opportunity. They missed the flipbook GIF opportunity, taking a GIF off the computer for the first time ever into a magazine in a flipbook style. And that's why it's on this week's WTH in my eyes.
Wow. That as soon as you started to say it, the wheels were turning in my brain. I'm like, "Mah!"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the example they had was pretty dumb. I forget what it was, but printed out side by side. Didn't make any sense. That would have been great.
That would have been great. And then you could
Flipbook GIFs.
flip it back and forth and it would do like what GIFs do. Man, total missed opportunity. You're right. I'm mad for them. I have never seen digital go backwards before, though, to that point.
Yeah,
this
old
is
is
crazy
new, new is
pants.
old.
Yeah. Well, I guess this is very hipster of them, right? I mean, that's cool. I don't know. As long as this doesn't kill our industry, then I'm in.
Yeah.
Do you think we're out of a job?
We're going away. This podcast is self-destructing.
No, because more than 50% of people have listened to a podcast once. So I don't know. I thought it was cute that the CMO said that they printed over 20,000 copies of this and it was distributed, quote, to put some joy in the physical world, which I thought was really nice. But then also it scared me because like, that's just the world, right? We don't have to call it
correct.
the physical world.
Yes.
It is the world.
What they should say, real world. In the real world. Sorry, this is the real world. These GIFs you have of people that's real life. So instead of saying the physical world, like, that always got me strange when you'd say something like XM radio and they'd be like terrestrial radio. And like, oh, what is this?
I know. Well,
I guess
yeah,
your
because,
satellites, whatever.
yeah,
But,
I kind of like that word though, terrestrial.
yeah.
But I get you with the phrase. Yeah, physical world.
I think it's extra. Okay. And what do we have next?
A cool tool.
Cool tool.
This week's cool tool comes to us via The Verge, and it truly is cool shiz with a Z because we're not swearing. The headline reads, Microsoft Excel will now let you snap a picture of a spreadsheet and import it.
That's crazy.
Is your mind blown?
That is taking the physical world into the digital world.
Right? And bringing a little joy along with it. It's super cool. If you have the mobile app, the Excel mobile app, you can take a photo of a printed data table and it will convert it into a fully editable table in Excel in the app, which is blowing my mind. Still, I love spreadsheets, so this is like really cool for me. It saves time and frustration. And if you want to know how, Microsoft said they're using artificial intelligence to implement this feature with image recognition, and they do it so Excel users do not have to manually input hard copy data. So I can see this being something if you're like in a meeting and somebody throws some sales material in front of you and you just want to maybe do some quick calculations, but you didn't get the file, you just take a picture. It's really, really awesome. And if you have Android, it is coming ASAP and it is coming to iOS quote soon. So keep an eye out for that. I'm actually really, really excited. Could be
I
super
love
cool.
that. The Microsoft app.
Yeah.
First time we've seen it in Cool Tools. Pretty
Wild
cool.
times for people.
And that brings us to this week's must-read marketing article of the week. An article so in-depth, so detailed that we simply cannot cover it in its entirety on today's show. And this week's article is called A Guide to Power BI, Big Data for Digital Marketers. And we've got back-to-back Microsoft here as Will Reynolds over at Seer Interactive breaks down his guide for Power BI, which is a Microsoft product. And he breaks down quite a bit of information, the basics of Power BI, how to clean and join data, how to transform it, the visual aspect that you can use to get the data looking great, how to uncover things, mine long-tail keywords, how to tell a story, and so much more. He's got a ton of GIFs in there showing how it works and videos galore. It's a really, really, really comprehensive article that you should look at if you have access to Power BI and are looking to visualize, and uncover, and get more out of your data. So thank you, Will, for that article.
Awesome. And that does it for today's show.
It is now officially not Marketing O'Clock.
Remember, you can catch everything from this show on marketingoclock.com, and please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode.
And we will see you next week.